while my surface is still wet or moist. Gosh, I hate that word. Anyway, while it's still moist or wet, you're going to use that to your advantage. This is where the colors are going to blend more seamlessly together because you have that kind of liquid that's kind of forcing the watercolor to be more amicable or friendly towards its neighbors. We're literally just getting the base color in here for your cup. See how they're just little dots. I'm not going too extreme here. I'm literally just adding little diluted dots of brown. Okay, so for your shadows, I would highly recommend using brown. I would not use black. Black's just going to flatten your image. It's not going to mix well. It's going to muddy up your colors. I would definitely use brown. But this piece is going to look a little bit different than what I was showing you earlier, you guys, because I was literally using my extra drawing to kind of teach you how to create that ochre color. But for my final piece, I kind of want the baby line to be a little of a brighter yellow than mom, just so they stand out just a little bit. So I'm going to use brown to get these guys in here. When your brown starts fading out like this, that is when you're going to start doing those really lighter tan shadows in the cheeks. And you can even add just a little drop of water to your brush to kind of help that brown thin out and add just a extra layer of darkness to this cheekbone here. Right now it's literally just playing with the strength of your paint. If your paint is really strong, it's going to end up looking a little bit darker. Now if you want to weaken or soften that color, you might have to pick up some of the color from that area and spread it to other places. You might have to add just a little dot of water and squeeze out the extra water and kind of soften it up with liquid. But what you're going to want here is you're going to want to move slowly. You don't want to add too much too much paint in one given time because it's going to be too dark. And you don't want to add too much water because then your color is going to splooge everywhere. So just feel it out. Feel it out. See how I'm dragging some of that in here to create that kind of outer edge there that's darker. This is all about feeling out your environment, kind of making your best guess estimate on what your painting needs. See right here it's too dark. So I'm going to have to thin it out. I added just a little drop of water. I'm picking up this extra paint and I'm putting it under the chin for the shadowy part here. Anywhere where you have two muscles coming together or two sections of bone coming together, like right here where the nose is, you are going to have a little bit more of a darkness in that area because you have two solid pieces overlapping each other almost, or spreading. I don't know how to describe it. Just think anatomy. Anywhere where muscle wraps around the bone, your shadow is going to change. Like right here, you got your skin kind of wrapping around that eye bone. What is it? The eye socket. These are all things that you have to take into consideration when you are painting. Just keep that in mind. It's super, super important. When you have those lighter colors then that you needed to establish underneath like this, the lighter color that's underneath these dark stripes. Once you have your lighter colors in, then you can add a little more paint for those darker colors. See how I'm going slow? You just have to work your way into it. It's kind of like easing yourself into a really hot bowl of water. You know how you go to the hot tub and it's super hot and you just kind of ease your way in there. You don't want it too hot all of a sudden. Well, we are easing our way into the darkness of our piece. We just want to go slowly. See how this is starting to develop? And there's going to be times where you put too much water down, like that's way too much water. So I'm just going to lift it up out of the paper. If you ever get to an area where you have too much, you can always try to lift it too. I did that too dark, see? That's way too dark. And that's okay. Because I'm going to use this paint. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to use it in other areas of my body. See how it's starting to lighten a little bit? I like to do this process with a smaller brush because this brush kind of acts almost like a pencil or a smudging stick, if you kind of get what I'm going at here. It helps give me a little more control. I am going to switch to flat because this area really needs to be thinned out, and it needs to be thinned out evenly. So I'm going to drag some of this in and down. This is way too strong. There we go. Alright. So that, my friend, is how you can add shadow to your baby cub. We're going to add some texture and stuff and darken up some areas around the ear because we need to add some inner ear here. Let's reestablish the darkness between mom and baby. Same thing with this. Pick up some of this darkness and put it on her cheek. Okay. Now I kind of want to add some detail to these beautiful eyes. I'm literally dabbing in some blue here, and my blue is super watery, so I'm going to wait until this area dries before I add any other colors. In the meantime, I'm going to take some pen and I am going to just define some things using pen because I don't trust my ability to kind of get thin lines in for the nose area now that I am mostly done with my watercolor area and doing washes, I am literally going to use pen to kind of crispen up my line, add a little bit of texture to my cat, kind of in an attempt to kind of, get the fur to show more clearly on my painting. Now, if you do the pen part, you need to make sure that you are mostly done with your painting, if not all the way done with your painting area where you are applying said pen. If you decide to apply some pen to certain areas and you still need to do paint, then you're going to want to make sure that your pen is a waterproof pen. Don't quote me on this, but I think Sharpie belongs to the waterproof family. I know Sakura Micron pens, that's what I usually use, are waterproof. And this pen will really help you bring out some of those shadows and depths. But just remember, you're only using this as a highlight piece. You're doing this very sparingly. You don't want to go hardcore with this area. It's literally just used to kind of, bring everything together and to add some depth. It's not really used to do all of the shading. Alright, so looks like my eyes are mostly dry. I'm going to squeeze out all the extra water in this brush. I really want to go with a dry on dry approach here. So that way I can get those dark blues that go inside this eye. And I'm literally just going to dab it in there. See what I mean? If you don't wait for your area to dry or get super dry, then you risk the opportunity of your watercolor splooging outside of the eyeball. That's why I waited. And you see how it's still a little decently damp? Because the edge here, I'm going to zoom in, the edge here, autofocus. See, the edge here is still damp, so you can actually see some of that darkness that I've just applied to the eyeball bleeding into the bottom part of the eye. Now, if your piece was still super wet, then this would happen all over the place. I waited until it was almost dry, but it was still somewhat damp down here, so I could naturally get from dark to medium to super light when drawing this eyeball. I'm going to kind of see how it's starting to bleed a little bit. That's when you want to be super careful. That's when you want to be super careful. I'm literally just feathering the edge of my under eye here. Doing my darndest to keep that light section there. Right here it kind of faded out a bit because the area is still damp. There. That was super hard, but take your time. Be very careful when doing the eyeballs. But yeah, ooh, that's pretty. And that, my friend, is how you can do a lioness and a baby using watercolor paint